So, can you scale the scraping technique when you've only got this tiny amount of starter that's left in the jar? Is just 5 grams really enough to build this larger batch of leaven? Well, this is the question that came from Steve, one of our email community members. And honestly, it's one that seems to pop up again and again. And you know what? It's actually a brilliant question, because on the surface of it, it seems quite impossible. I mean, how can such a small amount of starter possibly produce enough leaven for 2, 3, or even more loaves? Well, not only is it possible, it's actually one of the best things about this method. Right, so before we get into the nitty-gritty details of everything, here's exactly what I did to scale the scrapings that I've got for a double batch. That's enough leaven for 2 loaves. So first, I took my jar with 5 grams of scrapings out of the fridge. I then added 100 grams of water and I gave it a really good swirl around the jar just to loosen up all of the bits that were stuck to the side. Next, I poured that mixture into a larger jar so there was enough room for that mixture to ferment properly. I added 100 grams of flour, mixed everything together, and then I left it to ferment overnight at 25 degrees Celsius. And you know what? The next morning, after 13 hours, I checked it with my pH meter and it had just passed pH 4, which is roughly where I want it. That leaven was then used to make a double batch of my Old Faithful dough. That's 1,600 grams in total. That used 90% of high protein white bread flour, 10% whole wheat flour, 78% water, 2% salt and 20% leaven, 100% hydrated. Right, so the key thing to understand is that even though we're starting with this minuscule amount of scrapings, maybe just 4 or 5 grams, that little smear of starter is jam-packed with millions of microorganisms, wild yeast and bacteria that are alive, they're ready to multiply. Think of it like a ripple on a pond. One small drop spreads outwards and creates movement across the entire surface. Well, your 4 or 5 grams of starter is that drop. It just needs time. It needs to ripple through the flour and water, bringing that whole mixture to life. And you know what's great about using low inoculations, around 5 to 10%, is that it slows things down in this really helpful way. It gives us time to plan our day without feeling like the leaven is kind of racing ahead of us. Now, if you keep the temperature steady around 25 degrees Celsius or 77 degrees Fahrenheit, you can mix that leaven the night before you're going to be baking. Then you leave it to ferment through the night and the next morning it's ready to go. No discard, no waste, no stress, just the exact amount of leaven that you need. Okay, so a quick but really important note on temperature, because this is what makes or breaks this entire process. Now, when we're working with low inoculations, anything really under 10%, temperature is super critical. At 25 degrees Celsius, you can expect your leaven to be ready in about 10 to 14 hours, but that does depend on the vitality of your culture and the type of flour that you're using. Now, if it's cooler, it's going to slow things right down. If the temperature drops too much, the leaven can stall completely. On the opposite side, if it's too warm, the leaven can over-ferment. It will turn to soup before you've taken a step out of bed. So find yourself a warm, stable spot in your house. Around 25 degrees Celsius, 77 degrees Fahrenheit is going to work perfectly. Or even better, use a temperature-controlled prover if you've got one, because it removes one of the biggest variables in sourdough baking. And you know what? It makes your life super easy. Now remember, if your leaven ferments half an hour or so past the window you were aiming for, it's probably not the end of the world. I've had leavens that are fermented past their best, and you know what? They still make beautiful bread. This process can be flexible and it has to fit into our lives, not the other way around. Okay, so I know there's probably still a few of you thinking, that's okay, probably fine for 2 loaves, but you're never going to get it to scale further, not from just 5 grams of scrapings. So, to prove that it's absolutely possible, I ran another test. This time, I took the same 5 grams of sourdough scrapings and I used them to build a much bigger batch of leaven. 300 grams of flour, 300 grams of water, and as I said, the same 5 grams of starter. The point is, yes, this scales. The microbes don't care how big the batch is. They just need time, food, and of course, the right conditions. Now, the end goal is for you to feel comfortable experimenting with things like this. You know, some of the best things that I've ever learned about sourdough came when things were going dreadfully wrong, not when they were going perfectly to plan. So please don't be afraid to play around and test things for yourself. You're going to build confidence. Now, if you want to try scaling up like this, and I really do encourage you to do so, here's what I suggest. You want to pick a day where you've got a super clear schedule, everything's relaxed, so that you can keep an eye on things if needed. Now, the night before, you're going to mix up your leaven. Around 9 o'clock in the evening, you're going to leave it to ferment overnight, and then the next morning, check in on it. As soon as it's peaked, it's ready to go. Make a note of the timings for future reference. Now, when you try this, I want you to use a recipe that you trust, one you've had success with in the past. Remember, you can use my sourdough calculator for scaling. And don't forget, take notes, because this is how you're going to learn and improve. I'd like to say a big thank you to Steve for sending in this question, because you know what? I know that a lot of you have wondered the same kind of thing. Now, if you've got any questions, or if you've tried scaling this scraping technique yourself, drop me a comment below. I'd really like to know how it worked out for you. And of course, if you want a deeper dive into the scraping technique itself, how it works, and why I believe it's a game changer for home bakers, I've got a full video about that. I'm going to link to it right here and down in the video description. A huge thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and I will see you in the next one.